What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Forza Horizon 5 video here in the summer season of series number 4. Today, driving around in our 93 Nissan Skyline GTR that we unlocked in the last video. But today we're going to be jumping into our next seasonal championship. And if you've been following along, we're following this weekly Forzathon challenge, so we are knocking this out as well. In this one, we need to win a dirt scramble race event in our chosen car. And again, the chosen car is any of the cars from France, Germany, Italy, Japan, UK, or the US for the country rivals. And we're doing that anyway. So obviously it's easy enough to do. You just got to follow along. And then the next chapter of that weekly Forzathon challenge is to do a cross-country event. So we'll be able to knock it out completely and easily, but just like that. But we're going to jump into the off-track event in this video. And like I said, the restriction is just C-Class 600. I don't know what it counts as cars that can be used, because in this one I had set some cars up for C-Class and I couldn't use them, and I don't really understand why, because they were, you know, within the certain countries and stuff like that. So I may have to set some more cars up in this one like we did in the last one, but we'll find out. So I'm going to jump over there, start it up, and then we will take a look at our first car and get on to racing. All right, our first race here, we're going to be using the 1992 Ford Escort RS Cosworth. Up on the screen now will be the share code for the tune, along with the tuner's name. So we're going to jump into this first race at the Deserto Trail, Deserto Trail maybe, and go ahead and kick off this championship. So I did have to go back and set up 3 new vehicles because none of the ones that I did or set up already were compatible. I'm not really sure why. They were in C-Class, they fit the countries. I guess there's a very specific group of cars that you can use on these, but it would be nice if they actually gave those details. But like I said, we're going to jump in here to the Deserto Trail and start off this championship. Alright, here we go. So something to note too, I just ran into an issue with this Escort where I had actually had it upgraded to a higher class in S1 or something along those lines. And when I threw this tune on it, it is a C-Class tune, but it put it at like, what is C-Class? 600? It put it like 601, which made it B-Class. All I did was I went back into the tuning setup and just put it back on the car, and then it was fine. Forza does those really random things like that sometimes, so if you do have a car that you've put a C-Class tune or a certain class tune on, and then it shows that it's like a point above that, make sure you just go back in and put the tune back on it, and then it should be fine. Just a little word of warning. But like I said, I did have to go and set up 3 different vehicles, so I have spent a lot of money. Well, luckily it's just C-Class, so it's really not a lot of money. Realistically, the 6 tunes that I've put on the different cars have cost me, you know, what one car usually costs to put tunes on for like the higher class events anyway. So it's really not that much money. It's more so just amount of time that it's taken to do that, because usually what I do when a festival playlist starts is I go through every single championship, look at the requirements, and then I build 3 cars out per championship, and, you know, a car for the trial event, a car for the playground games, and then the cars for the PR stunts. But, you know, it's really hard to do that when they say it's C-Class. They don't give you any other kind of restriction, visible restriction is what I should say. Maybe that country rivals is what I should be looking for, but I mean, I could Google that and see what that requires or whatnot, and I might do that for the next one. But outside of that, it's just looking at the eligible cars, and that's not always accurate because it's only showing you cars inside that class, because there are some cars for other championships, maybe not this week's, but there are some cars that can be upgraded into a certain class that can be eligible. So but it seems like this week you have to use cars that are in that eligible cars list. I'm not 100% sure on that. If you have any more information on that that might be helpful to others, definitely leave it in the comments below. But this Escort is handling this like a dream. Once we got off-road, we got the lead pretty easily. Of course, dirt racing is mixed surface, but this one is majorly off-road, which is nice to see. So this is not a bad tune if you've got the Escort. I don't know if you can buy it or not, but if you do have it, this is definitely a good car to use if you're going for the USA in those the country rivals events. So that is one race down. With that, we should get 20 points for coming in first, as we did. So another thing with the championships is it's not about each race individually. You can actually come in, or you don't have to come in first in each of the races. It's based on points, and those points lead to this next leaderboard, being the championship leaderboard. So this is where you have to be in first place at the end of the 3 races. So as you can see, we got 20 points for coming in first, 16 for second, 14 for third, and so on and so forth. So as long as you can make it out with more points than the Drivatars, you'll be A-okay and get that reward at the end of the championship, or should get that reward. There are bugs in the game. I don't know if they've been fixed with the newest patch. Hopefully they have, but we're going to continue on, jump into our next car, and then into our next race. Alright, our next race here is going to be at the Mangrove Scramble, and we're going to be jumping into the 2009 Mini John Cooper Works Mini Cooper. So the share code for the tune, along with the tuner's name, will be up on the screen now if you want to check it out. But we'll jump in here and see what this Mini can do. Please ignore the rims. This is a tune, so you can't really change those, and apparently they just wanted to put dinner plates on this Mini Cooper. So let's go ahead and jump in and see what it can do. Alright, here we go again in the Mangrove Scramble. Mangrove. In the Mangrove Scramble in the Mini Cooper. Let's see how it can do. So I opted for an all-wheel drive Mini Cooper, so we'll see how this can do. This Mini Cooper doesn't have too much room in its PI ranking to do upgrades for C-Class. I think it was like 2 points. So maybe that's why they did the huge, ridiculous rims to try to get some PI points back in order to put all-wheel drive on it, potentially. Not 100% sure. It does feel pretty good. I mean, it's just C-Class. Probably don't need the aero. It may have decreased the PI again, because sometimes it does do that. But we are moving right on up and into the water, around the outside of the Volkswagen, and up into first place on the first lap. Good deal. So something else I've noticed, or I guess something else before we get to that, you do not have to use 3 different vehicles on these championships. I do that just so I can provide extra content for you guys to show you different options that can be used. So you can find one car that you want to use and use it for all 3. Just be aware of that. You don't have to do what I'm doing. You can use just one car and be totally fine with that. And currently they're doing the World Rivals stuff, so whichever car you use, depending on what country that's from, you're going to be getting points for that country, and then there's going to be some kind of reward based off of what country has the most points. I don't understand completely how it's going to work. I didn't really get a chance to watch the live stream or the update that they had about it. So just be wary of that. I'm not 100% sure, but you know, if you want a certain vehicle or reward, I don't know if they said that in the live stream or not. There is a like a little bio about the World Cup, I think that's what they're calling it, and it has 6 different like hypercars, supercars, whatever you want to call them, from the different countries that could potentially be the reward each week. I'm not 100% sure, but I'll throw a screenshot of that up on the screen now. Just to show you what I'm talking about. You can get to it just from the festival playlist if you're in there. If you go over all the way to see the series rewards, and I think that they are the, I'm not going to even try to remember what they are. I think one of them is the Jesco, and I don't remember what the other one is, but you can actually like flip over to the right a little bit, or just like one section, and it'll give you like the World Cup information, like a brief information about it. But that's where that picture of those cars are. But they've got different hypercars, and I'm assuming that that's the reward for whatever country wins will be one of the cars from there. I could be wrong though. That's just what I'm assuming. So, but we are almost on to the last lap, so I'm gonna go ahead and skip ahead just so you guys don't have to watch me do another lap of this race and waste some of your time. So I'll see you guys as we approach the finish line here in just a second. Alright, we're on our final little stretch here up into the finish line. And we had a really good lead on the drivatars through there. So completing this circuit race, which they call a scramble for dirt series, will also complete that third chapter of the weekly Forzathon challenge as well. So good deal there. You can see we got 20 more points. If I hit next, we're up to 40 in total on the championship going into the last race. So we'll jump into our final car and jump into that last race and knock it out. All right, here is our last car that we're going to be using today. This is the 1998 Volkswagen GTR VR6 Mark III. So this is also going to be the car that we'll use in the seasonal playground games event as well. We're going to use the exact same tune for both. So very good option for that. The share code for the share code for the tune, along with the tuner's name, will be up on the screen now if you want to check it out as well. But we're going to go ahead and jump into the Bajo Trail and see what it can do. Alright, here we go. They're definitely, you know, reinforcing that the summer season is the wet season here in Mexico. All of the races we've done have been in the rain or post-rain or anything like that. Not just in this championship, but in all of them. The trial event and the Sky's the Limit championship. So let's see what we can do here in our little Volkswagen. This might be the cheapest option that we've used, I think, both in car and tune. It may be the most readily available too. I can't remember if you can buy that Volkswagen Escort, the Ford Escort from the auto show or not. I can't remember if you had to win it, but I think the Volkswagen's probably the best option, quite honestly. I'm just zipping up on the inside here of other Volkswagen, or not Golfs. These are definitely not Golf. They're GTIs. I don't think they're called Golfs at this point in time. I could be wrong. But we're up in the second place. We're fighting for first. We're about 30% through the race at this point, and we're just going to be able to sneak up on the inside of the other GTI right there. And we're up into first place. Looking good. Feeling good. This one feels like the most akin to my driving style, so that's probably why I like it the most. It just feels loose enough to where it'll break out a little bit, but still controllable enough to where, you know, you can obviously do what you want to do with it. Just like that, that felt real good through there. Halfway through the race, I think since we're up in the first, I'm just going to go ahead and skip towards the end of the race, just so you guys, again, we're not trying to waste time here. That way it's a little shorter of a video for you all. So I'll see you guys here in just a second. Alright, coming up on the last turn here. This thing feels real good to drive as I bang it into the wall. It's going to give me a drift tap there, though. I'll take that. So, got a pretty good lead on the drivatars. The only drivatars keeping up were other GTIs, I believe. So, definitely probably my favorite option out of the three. Any of the three are well enough to work. That would be the one that I would choose if you have all three of them in your garage. So, 20 more points there on the seasonal championship. Gets us to 60 in total. And then if we go to the next screen, it'll be the race leaderboard or the race podium. And if I hit continue, there we go. That 2008 Renault Megane. I don't know exactly what that is. Got a wheel spin here. We're going to take away 200,000 credits as well. Very good. All right, there we go. That is the off the track championship here in the summer season of series number 4. I hope you guys did enjoy the video or found it helpful. If you did, definitely leave a like on the video. Definitely get subscribed for future Forza Horizon 5 content. If you want to get more involved in the bomb gaming community and meet other players, definitely go check out the Discord server. There's a link to that in the description below. And if you do have another car in tune that works out well in that championship, definitely leave it in the comments below. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next video.